Welcome students in your EVS e-learning classes. This is class 5 and as we have started our term 1, chapters of the term 1. So the first chapter I am taking, that is the snake charmer's story or a story of a snake charmer. So the protagonist or the storyteller is actually Aryanath, who was telling about himself and how his life and which tribal group he belongs to. It was a Kalbeliya group and they belongs to the Kalbeliya group or the tribal people. And what are their functions, what they do? They actually catch snakes from the jungle and they show their shows in the city and they earn some money. But nowadays it is becoming difficult for them to catching the snakes as it is prohibited by the government. So there is some suggestions, whatever his life, whatever the things, whatever he was doing within his childhood and whatever his grandfather was doing in his childhood, so that we already have discussed. Now there are some suggestive part, what else the Aryanath can do. These suggestions are given by his grandfather. So the story proceeds like this. Aryanath, your father used to travel with me ever since he was a young child. He learned to play the bean without being taught. And these days it is very difficult. Now the government has made a law that no one can catch wild animals and keep them. Some people kill the animals and sell their skin at high prices. So they made a law against this. Now with this law, how will we earn our livelihood? We people have never killed snakes and sold their skin. So Aryanath, this is from the grandfather's side. He is suggesting to his grandson that nowadays he is telling him that his father, that means Aryanath's father, was traveled a lot, because in that olden time people love to watch this kind of snake dancing, and they love to entertain themselves from different kinds of things like puppet show, snake dancing, all these things were prevailed that time in our society. But nowadays everybody love to watch TV, they love to play computer games, and they love to play some other kinds of games, but no one goes to see the snake dance or these type of rural things. But now there is a difficulty for these kind of people to earn their livelihood. So for earning the money, what sort of things he can do, these are being suggested over here by his grandfather. So whatever the suggestions he has given, these are given here. At first he is telling that how his father become skillful for playing with the beans. What is this bean? Bean is actually the drier part of the gourd, and they made playing, or you can say a musical instrument called the bean. And his father learned to play the bean without teaching him, because he was not taught by anybody. But few things are there which we get from our father and mother, and we learn automatically because we are seeing them since our childhood and we are observing them. So by the observation his father become skillful for playing the bean. But nowadays his grandfather is suggesting, nowadays government has made a rule to stop this type of catching of wildlife or the wild animals, because wild animals have their life and they have to be lead their life in the jungle. And what happens actually, some poachers and the hunters go inside the jungle, they catch these type of the wild animals, they kill them just the sake of their money, just the sake of few kind of money and few kind of earning. They just sell them and they just peeling off their skin. And some of the animals like tigers, like snakes, their skins are very costly, so they are taking them and they are selling them in a high price in the market. And what about other animals? Even the snakes are also very famous for the tanning factories, or you can say for the leather. So these are being killed just for the sake of human beings money, or just for their greed. They are killing these type of wild animals. So the government has made one law that no one can kill any kind of wild animal, and they cannot even keep the wild animals at their home. It is punishable. So that this is a new era, but the people who has learned only this kind of art, this kind of skill they have. So what they will do now? So that is why his grandfather suggested him that you don't because these people who are the kalbeliya people, they are fond of snakes, isn't it? So they love snake, and they just keep the snakes just like their child, and they play with them. They learn how to they dance, and there is one very famous dance called the kalbeliyas dance. The people of Rajasthan usually do this kind of dances in their celebrations. Okay, so snakes are actually the part of their life. They do not just peel off their skin. They are not sending them, they are not selling them in the market in high prices. Otherwise they could be also very rich, but they are not rich. They are leading their life in austerity, as because nowadays they are not finding this kind of job, as well as they do not know any kind of other job. So this is a big problem for their livelihood. Okay, so now even they love these snakes, that in their daughter's marriage they give a gift. They gifted their newly married couple a snake, because it is very good sign, or it's a good luck for them. So that's why they keep the snakes and they love the snakes. But nowadays this is a big problem for these people of this tribal people, then how they earn their money, how they lead their livelihood. That's why his grandfather is suggesting that make a group of people who know how to play the bean. You can make a bean party. So wherever in the celebrations you go there and you play with your flute, with your bean, and you can make the tune so that people can dance and enjoy a lot. So that is also a kind of profession you can choose. So these all about the suggestions whatever he got from his grandfather. So that's all for today. And the further whatever the things he has done and whatever the knowledge, second suggestions is given by the grandfather. Whatever the knowledge you have about the snakes, which snakes are dangerous, which snakes are not dangerous, which poisons are used for as a medicine. If we come to know from these people, then we will become aware of these snakes, as well as we learn a lot about this poisonous snake, and that time we will not maybe frighten or scare from these type of snakes. So this is all suggested by his grandfather to obey these rules and adopt another kind of profession, so that you can earn your livelihood, and the people and the common people can learn something from you, and that is also a good work for the human being. In this way you can serve the human being. So this is all about the suggestions whatever the Aryanath got from his grandfather. And that's all for today. In my next video and in my next class I will discuss a few more things about this group of people called kalbeliya. Till that